In the dusty heart of Burkina Faso, where the Sahel's red stretched beneath an unrelenting sun, the city of Ouagadougou pulsed with whispers of defiance. It was 2025, and the shadow of French colonial influence still lingered, like a stubborn stain on the nation's soul. The people were weary, taxed by foreign corporations, silenced by puppet politicians, and haunted by the memory of a freer past. But in the narrow alleys of the capital, a spark was igniting, and its name was Ibrahim Traoré. Ibrahim was no ordinary man. At just 36, he carried the weight of a warrior's resolve and the vision of a poet. His eyes, sharp as the blades of the savannah grass, saw through the lies of the elite. Once a captain in the Burkina Faso army, he had walked away from the gilded promises of power, choosing instead the path of the people. They called him the Flame of Ouaga, not for his temper, but for the fire he kindled in every heart he touched. The story begins on a sweltering evening in Paspanga, a crowded district where the air was thick with the scent of roasted maize and the murmurs of discontent. French companies had seized control of the local gold mines, leaving villages impoverished while their resources were shipped across the sea. The colonial governor, Monsieur Lefebvre, ruled with an iron fist, his private militia patrolling the streets, silencing any who dared speak of justice. That night, a young girl named Asata, barely 15, was dragged from her home for distributing pamphlets calling for freedom. Her cries echoed through the neighborhood, a chilling reminder of the cost of resistance. Ibrahim was there, hidden in the shadows of a mango tree. He had been watching, waiting, planning. The pamphlets were his idea, printed in secret with the help of a small band of rebels who believed in his dream, a united Africa, free from foreign chains. As Asata's screams pierced the night, Ibrahim's heart burned. He knew the time for whispers was over. The next morning, Ouagadougou awoke to a sight no one could ignore. Across the city's central square, a massive mural had appeared overnight, painted in bold strokes of green, red, and black, the colors of Burkina Faso's flag. It depicted a lone figure, fists raised, standing atop a broken chain, with the words "El Afrique pour les Africains" scrawled beneath. The mural was unsigned, but everyone knew its architect. The Flame of Ouaga had struck. Word of the mural spread like wildfire. By noon, hundreds gathered in the square, their voices rising in a chant. Traoré, Traoré. Ibrahim emerged from the crowd, not as a savior, but as one of them. He climbed onto a makeshift stage of crates and spoke, his voice steady yet electrifying. "They take our gold, our land, our children's future," he said, pointing to the governor's mansion in the distance. "But they cannot take our will. Today, we say enough." The crowd roared, but danger was near. Lefebvre's militia, armed with rifles and tear gas, stormed the square. Chaos erupted. Mothers shielded their children, elders fell to their knees, and stones flew through the air. Ibrahim stood his ground, unflinching. In a moment that would be retold for generations, he walked toward the militia's commander, a towering man named Du Bois, and stared into his eyes. "You may shoot me," Ibrahim said, his voice carrying over the chaos, "but you cannot kill the truth." Du Bois hesitated. The crowd held its breath. Then, in a move no one expected, Du Bois lowered his weapon. One by one, his men followed. They were Burkina too, sons of the same soil, and Ibrahim's words had pierced their armor. The square erupted in cheers, but Ibrahim knew this was only the beginning. Over the next week, Ibrahim's rebellion grew. He moved like a phantom, organizing secret meetings in villages, rallying farmers, students, and even disillusioned soldiers. He taught them not just to fight, but to dream, of schools built with their own hands, of fields owned by those who tilled them, of an Africa that answered to no foreign master. His speeches were poetry, each word a spark. "They call us weak because we are poor," he told a crowd in Banfora. "But wealth is not gold, it is courage, and we are rich beyond measure." Lefebvre, enraged by the growing uprising, declared Ibrahim a terrorist. A bounty was placed on his head, and French drones patrolled the skies. Yet Ibrahim seemed untouchable, slipping through checkpoints, his face appearing in new murals each dawn. The people protected him, hiding him in their homes, sharing their meager meals. To them, he was more than a man. He was hope. The climax came on the 10th day, when Ibrahim called for a march on the governor's mansion. Thousands answered, streaming into Ouagadougou from every corner of the country. They carried no weapons, only banners and the weight of their dreams. Lefevre, panicking, ordered his militia to open fire. But the soldiers, many now loyal to Ibrahim, refused. The governor's own guards turned against him, opening the mansion's gates. Ibrahim walked through the crowd, Aissata at his side, her face no longer marked by fear but by pride. They entered the mansion, where Lefevre sat, defeated. His arrogance crumbled. "This is not my victory," Ibrahim told him. "It is theirs." He gestured to the sea of faces outside, their chants shaking the earth. That night, Burkina Faso changed. Lefevre was exiled, and the mines were returned to the people. Ibrahim refused the title of leader, insisting the future belonged to the collective. But his story, the story of the Flame of Ouaga, spread across Africa, igniting movements in Mali, Niger, and beyond. His name became a rallying cry, a reminder that justice, though costly, was never out of reach. And so, under the starlit skies of the Sahel, the people of Burkina Faso began to rebuild, their hearts alight with the fire Ibrahim had kindled, a fire that no oppressor could ever extinguish.